Hello, beautiful soul. My name is Milani. Welcome to my channel where we discuss energy, life path wisdom, metaphysics, magic, manifestation, all sorts of spiritual stuff as we elevate our lives to that next level, which I think is something that we all called to do. And so today I wanted to just talk to you about the unknown and how scary that is for us to step into the unknown and beyond what it is that we are known, that we are comfortable with, that we have experience with. And the reason why I want to discuss this is sort of the first sacred container that I want to place before us. I think there's 5 that I want to just use to work around this subject. So the first one is, why is it important? Why now? Why should we step into the unknown? Why not just stay in our safe little contained bubbles where we know how things work and it's not scary at all? And then the second one is, I want to tell you about this dream that I had last night about the Turkish guy and how that informs us and can play into giving us some guidance about what is happening and why it is so scary to move into the unknown. And then I want to also get to the 3 things that we absolutely have to do in order to successfully navigate and get comfortable. Even if it's just a little bit, because even a little bit of more tolerance for that discomfort of the unknown is going to pay huge dividends in our life. So the first thing when we're discussing the unknown that I want to just draw your attention to is that I just sort of laid out a pathway for you. I told you what we're going to discuss. I sort of gave you an idea of what's coming. But when we are stepping into the unknown, we're following our guidance and we sort of moving beyond what is known for us, what is safe, what is our usual way of being or doing. Nobody calls us in and says, okay, this is how it's going to happen. This is what shifts you need to make. Then this is going to happen. Then you're going to adjust it that way. Then this is going to happen. And this is where you ultimately end up. Nobody is doing that. And that is, I think, for us, the scariest part of heading into the unknown in our lives. Because we don't have that map. There's no GPS. It's like it wants you, I'm in Cape Town in South Africa, and it wants me to go and find a specific address somewhere in Ghana. I'm not even sure exactly where in Africa Ghana is, but fine. But then nobody's giving me a map. Nobody's giving me a GPS, a Siri or somebody that says, okay, now get on the N1 and then you go over Bait Bridge and then you head north. I know vaguely that I need to head north, but, is Ghana in the middle of Africa? Is it there? Is it there? I don't know. And even beyond, how do I find a specific street address within a specific city, within a specific place in Ghana when I've never been there? I don't know how to get there. And so when we go after our dreams, when we're stepping into that bigger destiny that's waiting for all of us, it's like that. It's like, okay, go find that address in Ghana. That's where you're going. And it's so scary because it feels confronting. It feels as if we can't control everything that's going to happen. We can't even plan the journey properly because we don't know where we're going. We don't know where we'll end up. And it calls on us to really dig deep within our own courage and follow our intuition, basically. So that is why it's so scary. The unknown for me is this big, vast place that really emphasizes how small we are and how little control we actually have, even though we try to live life from a place of planning and goals and being in control and being able to foresee 3 steps ahead and so on. And moving into the unknown is just not that. it's not me telling you this is where this video is going, this is what we'll discuss. It's like, okay, I'm open to the experience and I'll see what comes and I'll deal with that when it and how it comes. I feel that this is the perfect time to be discussing this though, because I know that a lot of people are feeling the call to step into that bigger destiny, bigger life purpose. It's like the training wheels have come off and now you have to get on your tricycle and go and do the thing that you were born here to do. And stepping from your safe, comfortable life into that is scary. It's confronting, and it is then heading into this unknown. So it's almost like we're all at this portal where we have to step through the threshold of that. And so if you clicked on this video, I believe that you also feel that it's alive in your energy field, this bigger unknown that you have to move bravely into, but you maybe don't know exactly how. And I feel the same way, and I've grappled with it. And so if you clicked on this video, then it is because somehow that calling, that bigger purpose is calling to you, but that means that you have to now step into the unknown. And I believe that a lot of us are feeling that at the moment. So that is why I'm making this. I want to move into the second container now. And that is this dream that I had last night. So I often have these very adventurous dreams. People shooting at me and having to infiltrate stuff, and I believe maybe somewhere there's a me out there that is having a lot of adventures. And so this was part of a bigger dream, but there's a specific moment in the dream that I just want to describe to you, and it is, there was this Turkish guy that was shouting at me because my presence had somehow caused something to happen with his son. They were being targeted or harassed or something. They were not safe, and the reason was my presence had caused this. And so I was trying to explain that I wanted to help and that I would investigate what had happened and stuff like that. And as he's shouting at me in Turkish, which I don't speak and don't understand, I could understand everything. And then at a certain point, this voice that was translating the Turkish in my ear just stopped. And the guy was still shouting, but the meaning stopped coming through. And as I sort of stopped and tried to figure out what was happening in my dream, I realized that I had, without realizing it, had this in my ear, and that there was somebody that was translating the language, the Turkish, in my ear as I was having this conversation. And that person that was doing that translation just stopped doing that. And so what it caused for me was this inability to suddenly understand a lot of things that I had been understanding up to that point. And it was, as I said, this happened to me in a position where I wasn't safe at home drinking tea and reading a book. I was in a confrontation with another person that was angry with me. And I believe that this translator that creates meaning for for us in our life as we go about our business is almost like our minds. And the moment when that translator stopped, the interpreter stopped, and there was just dead air, just silence, is the same as how we feel when we step into the unknown, because your mind cannot translate for you there. Your mind cannot guide you or interpret what is happening. It cannot create meaning out of events because it has no experience. It has no past software that it can run on. It has no understanding of it. And so it cannot guide you there. So it's like when you're stepping into the unknown, that part of your mind that creates meaning and helps you understand what is happening goes on a sabbatical. It's useless. It cannot help you. This, you can just take this thing out and be left in the situation where I was in the dream, where this person is shouting at me. I can't understand the language anymore suddenly. And I have to deal with the situation without my normal levels of understanding or experience or even comfort in terms of having that understanding and experience. And so I believe that that tells us why it's so hard to step into the unknown, because you're basically almost driving blind to Ghana, or you're confronting a difficult situation without all the knowledge, without the experience, without that voice in your ear that creates meaning or understanding for you, that helps you to navigate it. So that's the second container. I believe that once we know why the fear of this is there, we can start having a gentler relationship with it. We can start understanding that our normal translator is on sabbatical, and that freaks our mind out. That feels unsafe to the part of our system that is supposed to be keeping us safe. And to have compassion for that part of us that is not feeling comfortable, that is not thrilled, and that might want to keep you going back and stay in your comfort zone and not go on this crazy, big, scary adventure. But you can never let that fear be in the driving seat. You can never let that fear keep you from going where you are supposed to be going. That is the whole point of destiny, which is that we need to embrace it and go for it, even though it is scary. Okay, so let's take the 3 containers about the 3 things you absolutely have to do when you are moving into this unknown space for you. And the first one is that you absolutely have to release any expectation of perfection. You have to allow yourself to bumble. It's not going to be taking one step after the other and each of those steps being perfection, no mistakes, no backtracking, no U-turns, no getting lost. It's just not going to work that way. And so for you to expect that of yourself is defeating. It is not conducive towards. So the energetic position that you almost have to take is, I'm going to play with this, I'm going to be inquisitive, I'm going to explore this, and I absolutely am going to fuck it up. I am absolutely not going to do it perfectly. None of this is permanent, and none of this is actually a problem if it isn't perfect. Because what you're doing is you almost allow life to move you as you move and course correct you as you move. And so the most important thing is that you have to just understand that you can't, life can't move you if you're frozen in fear. And so to take a step, even if it's a small step, a big step, doesn't matter. Just do something. Take one step forward, because when you're standing still, if you have a ship that's sailing, you can't course correct that ship when it's at anchor. You course correct it while it's moving in the water. And that's a car. You can't turn your car while it's parked. You have to turn it while it's moving. So you have to move for life to be able to move you. Even if you're not sure it's 100% correct, even if you don't know whether it will work, you have to do this. The thing about the unknown is it's so vast, it's so big, it's so unknown that there's no way that you can make the perfect decision every time, to take the perfect turn. But whatever turn you make ends up being perfect, even if it's imperfect. I hope you understand what I'm meaning. It is 100% right to get you where you are wanting and needing to go, as long as you just move. So I am part of a women's circle, and I often see this as new people come in, which is an unknown situation, unknown dynamics, unknown customs. And so there's a very big tendency, it often happens that new people come in and then they almost just freeze with fear because they're unsure of what to do and how to be in this new space that they've now entered. And we absolutely cannot do this as we sort of step into our own unknown big destinies. We have to move no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how comfortable it is to stay where we are and just to freeze in that sort of fight, flight, freeze response. We have to just move, knowing that it probably isn't the correct step. It's probably not going to be 100% where you need to go or how you need to be. Or the process is doing it anyway because you're getting information from taking that step. You can't get the information if you don't take the step. So the step, moving, doing something, is absolutely necessary. So that's the first one. The second one is understanding your fear, which I sort of discussed already, and realizing that you cannot let that guide you, you cannot let that stop you, and that even though the scary stuff makes you feel like not doing it, that all the magic is actually contained within that unknown. Your dream. So if you look at your little world right now, the box inside which you live, which is not yet your ideal life, your dream life, the person or being that has everything that you would want, because you're striving towards something greater, and realize that that is not contained within this little box, and you're never going to get it within this little box. So what you do need to do is to move out of that box. You do need to step out into this unknown, into this scary space, but it is a space of creation. It is the space where everything that's around us was born. Everything that's come into being was once in that space. And so it is the space of all potentiality it's the space of creation. And the beautiful thing about this is as you step into that, you sort of get to redefine your identity. So it's almost like you taking off some of the jackets or the coats that you've put on yourself, specific ways of being in the world, specific identities that you sort of started to identify yourself as, but which is not you. It's just an identity that you assumed. It's just a role that you played. And so you can start exploring, because anything and everything is up for grabs within this realm of the unknown. You can start playing around and you can be different. You can learn to discover new things that you like, that you didn't know you liked before. And there's so much potential and magic in that unknown space that the fear that you feel as you step into it is a small price to pay. So that's the second one. How to navigate it is actually the third part, the third container, the third guidance in terms of how to navigate this. And that is that the masculine drive within us that has the plan, that has the structure, cannot guide us here. This space of the unknown is the realm of the feminine. And I'm talking about energies, I'm not talking about your gender. I'm talking about the feminine and masculine aspects, divine feminine, divine masculine aspects, even. But so, this realm of the unknown, of creation, of life, of rebirth, is part of the feminine. And so, your masculine linear mind, rational thought cannot guide you, there. Which is why this little guy is on a sabbatical. It can't translate for you. And so, how do you navigate yourself if you don't have your mind to help you? And the answer is you have to step into feeling. You have to step into your body. You have to step into your being. Really deep intuition about what is the next step. And you have to move into absolute presence in your life. And this, I believe, is part of the gift of stepping into this unknown spaces where we are being called to. Because presence is the energetic language that we speak with the world. And at this point in our journey where we're stepping into the unknown and we don't know and we don't understand and we don't have a map, our guides, our higher self, do have a map. And they are going to be using the world and your intuition and your feelings and other people to communicate to you and to give you clues, to give you guidance. You have to pay attention and you have to be present for that in order to notice those signs and guidances and directions that you're getting. If you are stuck about yearning back to the past where it was nice and safe and comfortable, or you're worrying about the future and not being able to control the future, you're actually not in the present and you're not going to notice those signs, and it's going to be much, much harder. So you have to move into really being present in your life and noticing how you're feeling and noticing the world around you, and move into a conversation with it, an energetic conversation with the world. A world of magic where the events and circumstances and synchronicities speak to you, and you speak to it through your own vibration and through visualizing your dreams and the essence of the feeling that you want to feel when you get to that end destination. All the while realizing that the beautiful thing about this is not necessarily the destination, but the beautiful journey that we get to take within ourselves as we look deeper in terms of why this is so uncomfortable for us. What fears is it bringing up for us? How can we move past that and shift and get into this dance with this feminine aspect of creation and beauty and flow? Because this is the realm where that stuff is the currency, not plans, goals, thoughts, strategies, vision, even vision boards. This is the magical realm where anything is possible and where you get to change your being into who you really are without all of the external stuff that's been put on it. And you get to discover more about yourself as you take this journey. And the world needs you to discover this, and to step into that bigness of purpose, your bigger role, to really start showing up as you. And so hopefully this helped give you some guidance in terms of why it's important for you to be doing this, even though it is scary. I know, I'm right there with you. But also why you need to develop a gentler relationship with your fear as you do this, why you absolutely have to move so that the universe can course correct you as you go, and why you have to move into presence and receptivity and openness and willingness to receive the guidance, willingness to just be and not know. That, I think, is the magic of this. So I'm sending you lots of love. Please do like, subscribe, leave me a comment in the comment section about what it is that maybe is the scariest thing for you about stepping into your unknown. How are you doing it? What lies there? And I will see you soon. Keep well, keep shifting, keep up leveling, keep going after your dreams. Lots of love.